Have you ever felt like your own mind is holding you back? Almost like there's a version of you deep inside that refuses to change? What if I told you that the reason you can't stay disciplined has nothing to do with motivation and everything to do with a part of your brain you've never even heard of? Today, we're going to expose the truth behind willpower, and once you see it, you'll never look at yourself the same way again. Most people live their entire lives thinking discipline is a personality trait. But science has discovered something far more powerful, something that explains why some people become unstoppable while others stay trapped. And the answer has nothing to do with talent, luck, or mindset. It's biology, it's wiring, and it's trainable. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to build unbreakable willpower, step by step. No hacks, no shortcuts, just truth. Let's begin. Deep inside the human brain lies a structure most people will never hear about. Yet it controls one of the most important forces in your life, your ability to endure discomfort. It sits between emotion and action, monitoring challenge, pain, stress, and resistance. Scientists call it the anterior midcingulate cortex, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll call it the willpower switch. Even though this structure is tiny, almost the size of a small almond, it behaves like a living organism inside you. It grows, it shrinks, it adapts, it responds to the decisions you make every single day. And just like a muscle in your body, it strengthens when you confront what you fear and atrophies when you avoid it. Imagine you're standing at the edge of freezing water. Your chest tightens, your mind screams no, your instincts pull you away. That moment, the hesitation, the resistance, the internal storm, that is the exact stimulus this willpower switch requires to grow. It doesn't wake up when life is easy. It doesn't care when tasks feel comfortable. It activates only when your entire system wants to retreat. What's even more fascinating is that scientists noticed something unusual. People who consistently step into discomfort, athletes, warriors, disciplined individuals, have a significantly larger willpower switch compared to people who avoid challenges. It's not that they were born with it. They grew it through repeated exposure to resistance. Whenever you choose action over avoidance, discomfort over comfort, friction over ease, this tiny structure inside your brain lights up like a beacon. It interprets your decision as a signal that you are becoming someone capable of more. You're teaching your brain that difficulty isn't a threat, it's fuel. Every time you take a cold shower you didn't want, push a workout you hated, wake up when the alarm feels brutal, confront a conversation you're afraid of, or do the task you keep postponing, you're strengthening neural armor. You're literally building the physical foundation of discipline. This is the hidden switch inside your mind, and it doesn't care about motivation. It only responds to one thing: your willingness to step into what you don't want to do. Let's cut the noise for a moment. Most people are weak, not because they're stupid, not because they lack potential, and not because they're unlucky, but because they've built a life around avoiding anything that makes them uncomfortable. Everywhere you look, the world is designed to eliminate resistance. You're surrounded by convenience, shortcuts, comfort, instant gratification, and dopamine on demand. You can get entertainment in seconds, food in minutes, and validation instantly. But with every easy option you choose, you dull the engine inside you that's meant to make you powerful. People say they want discipline, but they run from discomfort. They say they want mental strength, but they avoid anything that tests them. They say they want change, but they repeat the same soft behaviors every day. And here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Your mind is constantly negotiating with you. It whispers, "Do it later. You're too tired. You've already done enough. You deserve a break. Tomorrow will be easier. But here's the punchline. Tomorrow never gets easier because you never train the part of your brain that makes you push through. When you avoid the friction, your willpower switch starts to shrink. Not metaphorically, physically. Your brain responds to ease by reducing its capacity to handle difficulty. That's why weak habits feel impossible to break. That's why people quit when they're uncomfortable. That's why the smallest challenge feels overwhelming. They've biologically trained themselves to fold. Your brain adapts to whatever you repeat. If you avoid hard things, you're teaching your brain that discomfort is danger. If you run from challenges, you're teaching your brain that struggle equals failure. Over time, you become allergic to anything that requires true effort. And this is why the majority stay average. They're not building capability. They're protecting comfort. They're not training their mind. They're avoiding their potential. They're not fighting the battle. They're surrendering before it starts. Weakness isn't the absence of strength. Weakness is the accumulation of thousands of tiny decisions to avoid discomfort. And every time you choose ease over effort, you're choosing the version of yourself that loses. If we want to understand how willpower actually works, we need to strip away the vague motivational language and look at the mechanics of it, the system beneath the surface. Willpower is not magic, it's not emotional, and it's definitely not something you feel your way into. It's a system governed by clear rules that your brain recognizes and responds to. Rule number 1. Willpower grows from resistance, not effort. Most people confuse effort with strain. Effort is doing what you already feel capable of. Strain is doing what your mind is resisting. Strain is where the growth happens. Strain is the signal your brain needs. Rule number 2. Your brain tracks discomfort, not productivity. You can be extremely productive and still have weak willpower. If everything you do is easy, predictable, and comfortable, your willpower switch stays dormant. Meanwhile, one small task you've been avoiding carries more power because it forces your mind into a place it doesn't want to go. Rule number 3. Consistency beats intensity. Your brain doesn't care how big the challenge is. It cares how often you face resistance. Doing something uncomfortable every single day creates exponential growth because your brain starts expecting difficulty and preparing for it. Rule number 4. Emotion is irrelevant to discipline. Discipline has nothing to do with how you feel. You don't need to be motivated. You don't need to be inspired. You don't need to be confident. You just need to take action while feeling resistance. Emotion is the test, not the guide. Rule number 5. Your threshold increases with exposure. The more often you confront a hard task, the less power it has over you. Something that once felt impossible becomes normal. Not easier, normal. That's how soldiers, athletes, and disciplined individuals become mentally tough. Their threshold isn't emotional, it's neurological. When you combine these rules, you realize something powerful. You don't need to transform your life overnight. You don't need massive goals. You don't need a perfect routine. You simply need to do one thing every day that your mind doesn't want to do. That is the purest form of willpower training. Small actions that feel uncomfortable, daily tasks your mind resists, consistent steps into discomfort. Do that, and the mechanics of your brain guarantee growth. There's a moment, a very specific moment, that defines whether you'll grow or stay the same. It happens right before you do something difficult. It's the second your hand touches the cold water. The moment you tie your shoes for a run you don't want to do. The instant you're about to start the task you've been avoiding for weeks. In that moment, everything inside you resists. Your heart rate shifts. Your breathing changes. Your mind starts creating exit routes. Do it later. You're too tired. You're not ready. This isn't the right time. That moment, the internal collapse, the mental friction, the discomfort, is the exact place transformation begins. It's not during the workout, not during the cold shower, not during the task. The growth happens the second you choose to step into the discomfort. Scientists found that your willpower switch fires its strongest signals right when you feel resistance. Not after, not during, right before. This means the part of the experience you hate the most, the part that feels unbearable, is the exact biological stimulus your brain needs. The suck isn't the enemy. The suck is the trigger. Think about it like standing in front of a door. Behind that door is the version of you that is confident, disciplined, and in control. But the door can only be opened by walking through the discomfort in front of it. Every time you step through that discomfort, willingly, your brain rewires itself. The pathway becomes stronger. Your resistance decreases. Your threshold increases. Your identity shifts. The suck becomes a teacher. The discomfort becomes a compass. The fear becomes fuel. You don't need to eliminate the suck. You need to learn to enter it. Let's talk about hacks. Because the internet is obsessed with them. Everywhere you look, someone is promising a trick that makes discipline effortless. Wake up at 5 a.m. and your life changes. Drink this and you'll be unstoppable. Do this one routine and success becomes automatic. Sounds great. There's only one issue. None of it builds willpower. Hacks assume the goal is to make life easier. But the entire point of building willpower is learning how to handle what's hard. If you remove the difficulty, you remove the stimulus that makes you stronger. People love hacks because hacks let them avoid discomfort while pretending they're improving. It's self-improvement cosplay. It feels productive, but it produces nothing. Cold showers don't build discipline if you enjoy them. Morning routines don't build discipline if you feel good doing them. Journaling doesn't build discipline if it's relaxing. Your brain doesn't measure your habits by how aesthetic they look. It measures whether you stepped into discomfort. A hack is basically asking, how can I get stronger without lifting any weight? You can't. You grow by lifting, not by tricking yourself into believing you lifted. The real hack, the only one that works, is the one people avoid. Do the thing you don't want to do. It's not sexy. It's not glamorous. It doesn't go viral on TikTok. But it works. Every time. For everyone. Because it aligns directly with how the brain grows. There's a reason most people avoid difficulty. And it's not because of pain. It's because discomfort exposes the truth. When you step into something hard, all your insecurities rise to the surface. Your self-doubt shows up. Your excuses appear. Your weaknesses become obvious. When you push yourself past your limits, you're forced to confront the version of yourself you've been hiding from. And that's the real fear. Failure isn't scary. Hard work isn't scary. Pain isn't scary. Self-awareness is scary. Discomfort forces you to meet the parts of yourself you don't like. The procrastinator, the undisciplined self, the insecure self, the self that quits early, the self that breaks promises, the self that settles. But here's the truth. You cannot outrun the parts of yourself that need to be rebuilt. The only way out is through. And the moment you face the self you've been avoiding, transformation begins. You start to see your patterns clearly. You start understanding why you fail. You start identifying the behaviors that keep you stuck. This awareness becomes your power. Every time you enter discomfort, you peel away a layer of who you were. Every hard thing you face reveals a new potential inside you. Every moment of struggle shows you a part of your identity worth developing. Discomfort doesn't just build discipline, it builds identity. The person you want to become is hidden inside the tasks you don't want to do. Now that you understand how willpower works, let's bring everything back to the real mission. You versus you. Because that's the entire point. Your life is shaped not by competition with others, but by the internal battles you fight every day. Every decision you make either strengthens the weaker version of you or strengthens the stronger version. When your alarm goes off and you get up, you win one battle. When you push through a workout you hate, you win another. When you start the task you've been avoiding, you gain ground. When you confront the fear you've been running from, you reclaim territory inside yourself. Day by day, the stronger version of you becomes the dominant one. The best part is, you don't need perfection. Willpower isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in the small moments when you do what your mind resists. Think of each uncomfortable action as a vote for the person you want to become. You don't need to fight the whole battle at once. You just need to win the battle right in front of you. So what happens when you finally train your brain to embrace discomfort? Everything changes. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop relying on motivation. You stop making excuses. You stop quitting early. Your sense of identity shifts. You become the type of person who follows through. The type who confronts challenges instead of avoiding them. The type who trusts themselves. The type who is no longer controlled by emotions or impulses. This is the ultimate reward, self-respect. Because when you consistently do what you don't want to do, your brain starts to believe in you. You earn your own respect. And that feeling, being proud of yourself, trusting yourself, is one of the greatest sources of strength a human can have. Confidence becomes a byproduct of action. Discipline becomes automatic. Challenges feel like opportunities instead of threats. Life becomes less about surviving and more about dominating. Once you unlock this, everything in your life improves. Your fitness, your career, your relationships, your future. The momentum you create becomes unstoppable. If this video resonated with you, don't just click away. Take action. Pick one thing today that you don't want to do, and do it. That's where your transformation begins. And if you want to keep building the strongest version of yourself, watch the next video on your screen. It's time to level up, step by step.